Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our next math lesson, lesson 1.8, adding fractions with unlike denominators. So please write lesson 1.8, unlike denominators, at the top of your math notebook page. And then please write the I can statement. I can subtract fractions with different denominators. You can see below here I've got a problem that's 3/4 minus 1/3. And I'm going to take you through some different strategies today. I do want to reassure you that you don't have to know all of these strategies, okay? You just have to find one that you like, that works for you, that you understand. So if some of them are a little confusing for you, I would suggest don't do them. Pick the one you like. This is kind of like a buffet time. You don't have to take everything that's on the buffet when you go to one. You don't have to take all the strategies that I'm going to share with you. So let's look at 3/4 minus 1/3. One way that I can solve this is I can create a common denominator. Okay, so I look at 3/4 and 1/3. The easy way for me to do that is I can multiply the two denominators against each other, 4 times 3, which equals 12. So I'm going to create a common denominator for both fractions that's going to be 12. So 3/4 minus 1/3, okay, is going to equal 3/4 times 3. See, I multiply the numerator and denominator by 3, because 3 times 4 is going to give me that 12 I'm looking for. And then I'm going to subtract 1/3. I'm going to multiply those times 4. I'm just stretching the steps out here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so 3 times 4 again is going to give me 12, which is going to equal 9/12 minus 4/12, which equals 5/12. Now, sometimes you can use fraction bars, especially if one denominator can become the other. So I'm looking at 3 and 6. I know 3 is a factor of 6, so I can make it into 6 here. So let's take a look at this number, or this word problem here. Nina has 5/6 of a yard of fabric. She uses 2/3 of a yard of it. How much fabric is left? Well, if I'm going to model that with fraction bars, I'm going to start with my 6. So I've got a fraction bar divided into 6, and here's what 5/6 of that bar looks like. Now, comparatively, I can put some thirds underneath there. So there's 1/3 and there's 2/3. So I can see right there that 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6 just by comparing these two fraction bars here. Okay. So I'm going to subtract, because remember, I got to see how much she has left, because that's what that problem's asking me. I'm going to take away 1/3, 2/3, just like that. Okay, so I've got 5/6 minus 2/3 equals 5/6 minus 4/6, because 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6, which equals 1/6. All right, so let's look at another word problem. George ate 3/8 of a pizza. Raphael ate 5/12 of the same size pizza. Who ate more, and how much more did he eat? So we got two questions to answer here at the end. So one way I can do this, and we talked about this in an earlier video, is to list multiples. Okay, and I'm going to start with the number 8, and I'm going to list the first few multiples, and I've got 8, 16, and 24. And I'm going to do the same thing with 12. I'm going to list the first few multiples, 12, 24, and 36. When I do that, I can see that 24 could be a common denominator of those two. And there is another way to do this, and we'll go through that in just a moment. Okay, so I can make both of these into 24. So to make 3/8 into 24, I have to multiply numerator and denominator by 3, which gives me 9/24. And I can do the same thing with 5/12 by multiplying it by 2. Again, my denominator has to be 24. That's why I'm multiplying 12 by 2. So now I can lay out my new subtraction problem. 10/24 minus 9/24 equals 1/24. Okay, that means Raphael ate more because he had the 5/12. Okay, here's 5/12. That was the 10/24. So he ate more. 9/24. That's George, because it was originally 3/8 here. So Raphael ate more. How much more did he eat? He ate 1/24 more. Okay. Now, the other way we could do the exact same problem is we could find a common denominator by multiplying. We could just multiply those denominators like we did in the first slide, and that would show you 8 times 12, which equals 96. So we can do 3/8 times 12. It's going to give me 36/96. 5/12 times 8, and you'll just see these are just flipped. 8 times 12, 12 times 8, that's all we're doing with these. Multiplying numerator and denominator equals 40/96. Okay, so again, I can see that 5/12 is worth more than 3/8, so I still know that Raphael ate more. Okay, so I would take my two fractions that I just created by making them equivalent. 40/96 minus 36/96 equals 4/96. So Raphael still ate more. How much more did he eat? He ate 4/96 more. Here are your practice problems. It says to subtract and be sure to show your work. And I noticed several of you are coming into class each day without the actual problems written down. You're just putting the answers. That's not going to work, okay? I must see both problem number 1. I should see these two fractions listed and your what the answer is with your work, okay? Same thing for problem number 2. I should see 5/6 minus 3/4. If you have questions, we can discuss those in class, and have a great day.